Alright guys, what's up? So I have not posted in a couple weeks. I've actually been kind of neglecting the garden a little bit. Nothing extensive, but not as much as I should be doing. It's been extremely hot, you know, mixed in with a bunch of super rainy weather. So unfortunately, I mean, some things have done really well, some things haven't, and really I'm at the point where I need to just start preparing for my fall bed. Or fall crops, I should say. So, yeah, so this is kind of going to be the before video, I guess. I've already gone ahead and just cut the grass and did some trimming. Nothing major, though. There's still a lot of, like, weeds to pull, stuff to clear, things to clean up here. So, I have the entire next week off. I'm going to spend a large chunk of that, you know, in the garden and getting some stuff started. But I figured, you know, we could just do a little walk around, see what's you know, survived. So my little Jonathan Apple, clearance bin tree for $3 is unfortunately lost all signs of life. It did have this little, thing here, little stemmy, that had some leaves on it, but got a little roasted. So I'm going to just leave it in here. I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to see what it does. I'm going to see if it comes back, you know, next spring. And then if not, I'll just chuck it and I'll buy some healthy ones. You know, raspberries are doing good. Like I said, they need a retrellising. Do have about, you know, some money I could put into it right now. So I may just do that. Then I have my volunteer squash here that haven't done anything, but damn it, they've stayed alive. A few little plants, cool little decorative plants, little grass, a coleus, creeping Jew. This is chocolate oregano. Save these from clippings from a job site. So that's pretty cool. I mean, you know, I believe everything but the oregano is an annual. So I'm going to see if I can save some seeds. And, you know, with this guy, I might just put him, you know, inside all winter, see if he survives. You know, the butterfly bush is doing really well. This is actually 2 butterfly bushes. One I'm going to give to a friend, and the other one is going to be mine. And then, you know, unfortunately, the only thing in this that's actually flowered is the hibiscus. I really didn't anticipate how big these guys were going to get. You know, I know this is sea holly. I believe this is dianthus. You know, rupture wort's done good. I got some jasmine I put in here. You know, just to get it out of its little container. So, you know, I might just have to divide up the perennials here, move them into a good location in the fall, let them overwinter, see how they do, and then, you know, unfortunately, the cantaloupe is not doing well. Hops, the one on the left is just straight up dead, the one on the right is clinging on to life. I understand hops grow better in the ground. So, you know, probably putting them straight in horse manure compost isn't what I wanted. Unfortunately, I was in a weird time crunch and I just had to do that. Aronia, I harvested all the berries off of, and I am going to put this guy in the ground here soon. He's not extremely happy in this raised container. You know, and he'll definitely be smiling once I put him in the ground. You got some discoloration on the leaves. Could be from you know, the dry weather here lately and me just not keeping up on watering. Herb bed is a tangled mass. I'm going to need to take care of that. And then, you know, my little mouse melons, they're alive, but I think they're suffering from the same issue that the cantaloupe is suffering from. And I think the substrate that I used for the potting, or for the pot itself, wasn't good. It wasn't a traditional potting mix. I believe I just used topsoil. It says don't do it. I thought I was smarter than the package. So, anyway, that's all those guys. Raised bed, pretty much a mess. I did have one zucchini. I actually had a lot of zucchinis produce. They're starting to die again, and it looks like vine borer is the cause of the death. But I do have this one zucchini here that I've let get super mature. I'm going to go ahead and save the seeds from that and see if I can't get a little something out of it next year. And look at that. That's actually alive. Or, sorry, growing. There's actually a little zook in there. What was once carrots seems to be just some ragweed and grasses, and it's really just ragweed, grasses, and I would say that that's probably morning glory. So just gonna rip all that out, see if there's any carrot roots in there, eat them. This, even though it's really beautiful now, it's finally got these little marigolds taking off. I'm gonna need to just get rid of all this. I need to take everything out of this bed. Unfortunately, it's really just biomass at this point, and because I got to get things started here for fall. And I did actually start some bok choy in here, but I didn't keep up on watering, and I didn't mix in any new like compost or nutrients or anything, so it's not doing well. So I might just need to completely turn everything, really keep up on a good watering schedule, do it every night or every other night while the seeds are in there. And then I'm going to start some indoors too. Here, the corn bed, took out the corn. I don't know exactly why. It could have been because it was just overturned sod, kind of mixed in with some horse manure compost and then topped with a bag of horse manure compost. But unfortunately, all the corn just died. It looked just like that one there. I got maybe one or two, cobs out of it. They were looking really good there for a while, and then we just, I was keeping up with watering, so I don't know if they were drier underneath. Just bought a soaker hose, so I should be able to take care of that problem a little better now. But I'm going to mend with some compost. I'm going to clear all this out. But on the plus side, cosmos are doing well. Aside from a little, looks like spittlebug damage there, sunflowers are, as you can see, taking over the garden. Mixture of volunteers and intentional. And my fennel has continued to flower. I've kept it mostly for the flowers this year. And then, I will be saving the seeds here. And I've been told that if you just cut the bulb off, the root will actually come back the next year and produce another bulb. So I'm going to go ahead and try that out. I'll just cut it down and not really disturb the soil too much. And then I do need to figure out a way to harvest the seeds on these, because to be honest, intuitively, this romaine doesn't really make much sense to me. So it's probably dropped a lot of seeds on the soil itself. I may see them. The basil's kind of gotten away from me. Of course, it looks beautiful though. I mean, look how cool that is. That's the Corsican there. Little beautiful flowers, going to produce a lot of seeds. The Emily basil back there, once again. I could I'm probably going to make a few more batches of pesto. That one back there seems more leafier. I do know some people complain because the flavors themselves change, but that's not really, I still like the flavor of it. It's a little harsher, but it's still good. It's still fresh, aromatic, it's nice. Aromatic is the word, rather. So tomatoes really got fucked up here. What I did, except for those aromas that all seem to be ripening right now. So what happened with these is, a good month of drought followed by way too much rain. Like a solid week of rain every single day, hardcore storms, and then another week of rain after that. And, a mixture of me just not wanting to go out in the rain, working, and, just the really weird conditions caused a lot of these to split. So, I had to remove a fair bit of tomatoes that were just completely split open, cracked. They were either green and cracked, or they were ripe and just burst open. Look at that little blossom end rot there. So, just get rid of that. So that's an issue. The Romas, however, have done very well. So I'll save the Roma seeds. These guys have come back green, so that's really exciting. I'll still get another little thing of this. I'm doing better supports next year, by the way. And yeah, I mean, for the most part, everything is still going to produce. I have gotten a pretty low yield just because I had a lot of tomatoes on the vine, and then massive catastrophe came through. And then, by the way, the Zucchino rampicante over here has completely taken over. Look at that. That's one plant. That is one single squash vine. What a freaking mess. Oh, and then the rest of this, I guess I should go over this. You know, everything's just doing great, especially the sweet potato vines, or sweet potatoes, I should say. Obviously got some weeds in here, got some amaranth popped up. You know, I have some acorn squash. I've already harvested a couple, and I believe I saw a little baby on here somewhere earlier when I was cutting grass. And yeah, it's doing okay. Moonflower, doing great. I probably won't replant next year. Well, it'll probably replant itself, but I won't intentionally plant it next year because it really, I don't come out at night. I work, you know, wake up at 5 a.m. So, you know, just going over these again, the what are these called? Atomic grapes. They're cool, but I really think they're a novelty. You know, as far as grape, that's a big grape. You know, these are large tomatoes. So they're cool, might save some seeds. Once you figure out when they're ripe, it's a little bit easier, but you know, I'd rather have something that just produced a lot of delicious tomatoes instead of cool, wacky little tomatoes. So I've already saved some of the carrot seeds from this. So I'm probably just going to go ahead and like just shotgun these all over the beds. Maybe I'll get some carrots popping up. You know, need to clean that up. Sorrel, kind of a mess. Artichokes, I believe, you know, what we're suffering from here is just a lack of water, which is pretty wild because we had a lot of water. But, you know, I think they just need a good soak. Shiso hasn't really done much since I've transplanted it here, and to be fair, I haven't really been using it. It's a cool little herb. I do like it. So maybe I'll try red shiso next year. And then this zucchino, it's starting to die back. I'm not really sure what the cause is. I had to trim a lot of this up. It was just insane how much it had taken over. But I do have some producing over there. I've already taken a couple green ones off. I've got one saved for the winter. Looks like I'm getting a couple more. Next year I need to give this thing like that entire space of the yard if I want to grow it again. And then, you know, massive freaking sunflower right here. Super cool elephant head amaranth, and you can see where it gets its name. You know, the leaves have pretty much constantly been under a state of stress. Insect damage. They've really just looked like lice the entire time it's grown here. I believe amaranth favors kind of poor soil conditions, so bugs just may really be enjoying it. And then you've got more here, kind of right in the asparagus patch. Great place for it, really. And then I took out my wildflowers because they were skimpy, and you know, they were letting way too much sun hit the soil. They were sparse. I mean, there was little speckles of color, but I just wanted to cover it, and I'll get ready to do a fall bed in here, and flower bed. Just really needs a good weeding. Looks like the strawberries have kind of taken over, which was my purpose in the spring. So I might just keep this, you know, strawberry patch, and, you know, just see what kind of awesome flowers come back next year. And then, you know, as we near the end here, this is overgrown. It's a mess. There is some cool production. I don't feel like walking through this right now, but there are, you know, a couple butternuts from this little volunteer popping up. And there's one in the neighbor's side. There's one, I believe, growing on this, you know, fence here. And so this has actually been pretty prolific, pretty cool. The corn over here is doing extremely well. There is, it looks like a little bit of kudzu, perhaps morning glory. I can't seem to distinguish between the two for some reason. I don't believe it's kudzu, but it doesn't look like the morning glory I'm used to. And then, you know, these zooks back here have produced a good bit, but everything really just needs a really good weeding, clearing out, you know, and then I can either just leave it blank until spring, or I'll see what I can put back here for the fall. But I'm kind of feeling like time is crunching down on me for a fall garden. So I want to get the plants in that I really like, but you know, even just filling this garden with fall plants is going to be a little bit of a stretch. So anyway, that's the garden. You know, in about a week, things should be looking a lot better as far as cleanliness is concerned, getting weeds out. So that's my goal here. I'm gonna shoot for that, and you know, we'll just see how I'm doing in a week.